But the thing I really loved about the game, the crowd was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good opportunity for the team to kind of see what this town is like when they are really into a hockey game.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the Men of in Orange and Black. Of Orange and Black. What am I saying? In Orange and Black. Men in Orange and Black. Episode number 8. I know.
You sure?
I would think so. After an exciting Eagles victory, what the hell?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we talk a little bit Flyers hockey? And of course, with me to do that is the wonderful, the stupendous, the spectacular Steve Murray. Steve, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Those superlatives are all apropos. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Let us proceed.
And of course, I'm Matt Craig, just on the other side. I'm just some dude over here trying to fumble through his lines in the opening promo, but that's okay. We found out something very, very important over this last couple of weeks, Steve. We found out that one of our defensemen is far better than a little prick that's no longer here, who didn't want to be here.
Hold your horses. We'll get
so we'll
there.
get there. We'll get there. I know.
Hold your horses.
Yeah. So
I know that'll probably be 95% of the first period. But
yeah. Probably will be, because we're going to
too much else to
here.
talk about.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, as we've always done, we'll run down what we're going to be talking about. We're going to, of course, go through what happened with the Flyers over the last 2 weeks. That's in the first period. In the second period, we have hit the halfway point. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, we're not living on a prayer. Maybe, I don't know.
No acapella Bon Jovi that is hereby banned.
But we're going to do a report card on the halfway point. Basically, a listing, a scattering of players, and of course, reviewing the 5-on-5, the power play, the penalty kill, goaltenders, all that kind of good stuff. Third period, we'll, of course, look ahead as we turn the page, as they say, heading into the second half of the season. Steve, you're holding up 3 fingers.
Well,
I love how you're counting it. That's awesome.
I'm counting it, but I'm still looking forward to the second period when we're going to grade Anthony Richard.
Really? That's not on my list.
We'll get a new list then.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll figure that out, I guess.
He gets an I for incomplete.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hey, why don't we just dive right on into the to the first period here, and let's talk a little bit of the Los Angeles Kings, if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, this one was a little rough to start, although we did have a pretty decent lead, 4-2 after 2, and you're getting, thinking like, okay, looks like it's going to be bouncing back after a 7-3 loss, and then they scored 3 unanswered and kind of gave us a loss there. 5-4 the final. Thoughts there in Los Angeles?
Much of it on Kolosov, I would say.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
we'll get to it, because I think in the second period, there might be a need that we need to fill in order to really take a next step. And it might be in net, to be perfectly honest. But we'll get there. But that was Los Angeles, so that was kind of like that. But we bounced back on New Year's Eve. We go to the San Jose Sharks. We pick up our first shutout of the season. 4-0 win. Very good effort. I saw a little bit of it, probably within, I think it was the first couple of periods. It looked pretty good. Offensively, pretty much dominating. Although Ersson did get hurt in between periods 2 and 3. But nonetheless, 4-0 win. Pretty good to finish out the calendar year of 2024 with a nice shutout victory there. What do you think?
Very
there?
true.
Yeah.
But you beat a team that you should have beat, because they're down there in the standings.
They're way down there.
So that so far, although they played actually okay against LA, the goaltending let them down a little bit, so they didn't get points there. But so far the results are kind of as expected.
Yeah,
a loss to LA, beating an inferior team in San Jose.
There you go. Yeah,
and that's a theme you're going to see.
Yeah, because then, we go to Vegas, and the Vegas Golden Knights 1-0 lead, thinking, okay, again, off to a good start. 4 consecutive goals later by Vegas, and we don't have a chance. 5-2 the final there in Vegas. And again, we're struggling to make saves in net with Kolosov. I believe got that start.
There was one. If I can't remember now if it was the LA game or if it was the Vegas game, but there was one from distance. Now, the more I think about it, it might have been the LA game, the game winner.
Yeah.
That was fired from practically the blue line, and he went to sort of stab at it with his glove and right over.
Oh.
Kolosov has not been good recently.
No, he has not.
And he did not help in either the LA or the Vegas games.
No.
That's for sure. Which is a shame because they played okay against Vegas.
Yeah.
Torts said as much, and just not a good result. That's the unfortunate part of this game. Sometimes you play well enough to win, and things just don't go your way.
Yeah, exactly. You go to Toronto to finish out the road trip, and this one was a decent game, I would say. You have Fedotov in net. He gives you a little bit better chance, I think, and they clearly got a point in overtime. They went to tied in regulation 2-2. Mm-hmm. They do lose the game in overtime, but you outshoot Toronto in the game, 32-25. You played really good pretty much the entire game, I would say. It wasn't necessarily a 60-minute effort, but it was a decent effort. Very good.
Absolutely.
And you get out of Toronto with a point. So, I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that, I think, especially with your backup goaltender. No. Yeah.
Absolutely not. That was when we were talking last episode.
Yes.
I said they needed to get 7 points, or they should try to get 7 points out of this stretch. Getting a point out of Toronto was one of those places where, hey, that's a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you follow that up with the home game in Toronto. And again, you're coming back off the West Coast. You then fly into Toronto, and then Toronto from Philadelphia is like an hour and a half by plane, maybe 2 hours, not even that. So you don't have that leftover or, the first game off the long road trip. So you're back on Eastern time zone. And again, you play them tough. Unfortunately, you outshoot them again. And even though we got a little snarky comment from some little Maple Leafs fan going, hold on.
Oh, good luck. We beat your ass this time.
Oh, really? It's like, when's the last time you won the cup? 1965 or something like that was the last time.
Whoa. They're one of the few who can say that we're worse than they're worse than we are.
Exactly.
In that department.
Yeah.
I think it would be more. When was the last time you got to a conference final?
Yeah. 93. I think that was the last time that was. Right. Yeah, that was before the DVD era. That's for sure.
When was the last time you won a Game 7?
Yeah, exactly. 32-17 in shots. Very unlucky. You outshoot them again. You dominate pretty much like in terms of total shots through all 3 periods. You outshoot them all. But again, Leafs that much better. That much just a little bit better than us. Very annoyingly.
That was a talent. That's the talent disparity. That's what that is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
We have to work hard to score goals. They just get them because they have Austin Matthews and John Tavares and guys like that.
Yeah.
So they have some talent up front that allows them to get some cheapies.
Yeah.
And Fedotov played all right in both of those games.
He did. He has really improved. He really has improved a lot.
He has improved.
Yeah.
It was a low bar to clear, but he has improved. And he's giving you competent goaltending. It's not goaltending where you're back there waiting for a disaster to hit now.
Yeah.
He's keeping you in it. He's going to make some mistakes here and there, but you can live with that because he's not blowing it.
Exactly.
Like way early in the season, like he was doing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was great. I mean, you just want to keep that competitive streak going. You get Ursa back for Dallas. You're thinking, got maybe a chance. It's going to be tough. Well, this was the worst game of the season by far. 4-1. Dallas Stars beat the Flyers in Philadelphia. Booze raining down. It wasn't looking good at all. I mean, the Dallas Stars are a terrific team. One of the top teams in the West. as Steve rightly pointed out last week or last couple weeks ago in our last episode, the Dallas Stars are an excellent defensive team.
Yep.
And they showed it. They clearly showed it. And we just don't have the firepower offensively to compete against something like that. Thoughts there, Steve? I mean, those were pretty bad.
There were two things that struck me out of that game.
Hmm.
The first was there were, and I think Tortorella alluded to this by saying the structure kind of went out the door. There were a bunch of times when I would see like 4 guys down below the circle in situations where there should not be 4 guys down below the circle.
Yeah.
And so that was bad. It led to some odd man rushes going back the other way. I forget which goal was. Maybe the third goal was like a 3-on-1. That just it can't happen that way.
Pretty nasty.
The other thing was true to Dallas's defensive nature. When we would get the puck into their zone, we'd be looking for plays to get kind of to the middle of the net, and they just weren't there. They had guys covered everywhere. So every time you try to force something, there's a defenseman or a back-checking forward in the way, keeping it out of harm's way.
It's almost like they just do such a great job constricting the slot, and that's really the key. If you can constrict that slot so that you're either that puck is getting blocked, or worse than that, seam passes through the slot aren't getting through. You're blocking those, and then you're turning that into transition offense. That's massive. That's huge for any team, and a big plus sign. But yeah, I mean, you got to tip your cap to them, unfortunately.
We did some bad things, but they also are a legit cup contender.
No question.
They did things that made us do bad things.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But then we come to the circled game on our calendar, pal. And that was the Anaheim Ducks making the return trip. After, of course, 2 weeks ago, we were there, beat them 3-1. And one Quiiter Gauthier makes as he didn't have the Philly flu, which I thought was going to happen. That he was going to be scratched. Nope. He was fit, ready to play. Once again, that guy came up short, and the boos were raining down at the Wells Fargo Center. It was an atmosphere probably unlike anything I had seen in quite some time at that arena, Steve.
It's been a while.
Been a long time where everybody was raucous. Every time he stepped on the ice, he was booed. Every time he touched the puck, he was booed. Every time he was on the bench, we want Quiiter. We want Quiiter. And then it was like when Jamie Drysdale scores the power play goal, Jamie's better, which I love that. I mean, what a way to be welcomed in by him. And to get off the schneid, the guy hadn't scored in almost like 20 games, so it was great to see him get the goal against his former team. And I love the when you watch that, his power play goal, he's back in the defensive zone, give and go with Konechny, and he's streaking. I mean, he kept going to the net, and Konechny found him, and it was a beautiful, like, between the legs of Josh Gibson, who had an off night. He really had an off night to our benefit, really. But yeah, Quiiter,
he's one of the reasons they were where they were standings wise.
Oh yeah,
he's been solid in net for them.
Oh yeah,
but you're right. He didn't get any help.
No, they were bad. They were really bad defensively, and they were really undisciplined. You could definitely tell. Second period, definitely into the third, you got Gudis with a 10-minute misconduct, and they called timeout when it was 6-0, and it was like they just got blasted. They were absolutely blasted across the way. By the way, I did a little stat collecting for us, Mr. Murray. The chant "Jamie's better" was raining, of course, down the Wells Fargo Center. I did some statistics.
Okay.
Jamie Drysdale in the 2 games against the Anaheim Ducks, former team. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points, no penalty minutes. 46 total shifts, 35 minutes, 14 seconds, time on ice.
Okay.
3 shots, 3 blocks, 2 hits, 2 giveaways, 1 takeaway. That's pretty good. That's a pretty decent line for a defenseman. 35 minutes on the ice, 3 shots, 3 blocks. It's pretty good. Quiiter Gauthier, you want to know what his stat line was for the 2 games?
0, 0, 0, 0.
0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points. 2 penalty minutes. Even, plus minus. So he had the plus in Anaheim, but a minus, and the minus was bad. The minus was really bad. Coughed up the puck in the defensive zone. I think it was Hathaway's goal that he coughed it up.
It was. That's right.
38 shifts, 26 minutes, 38 seconds, 5 total shots, no blocks, 2 hits, 3 giveaways, no takeaways. So clearly, Jamie was better, far better.
Agree.
So what are your thoughts there on that game? Because I mean, I've been talking a lot. I want to
Yeah,
hand
I
the
was gonna
baton
say.
to you.
Let me say my
Please.
piece now.
Yeah,
Let me say my-
absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with this. I happened to see there was an article before the game
Mm-hmm.
where he spoke with someone, and he lamented that the boos are going to come in, and I know it's going to happen. I just wish they knew. Well, Quitter, there's one way that we could know what the issue was.
Open
You
your
can tell
mouth.
us.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
And you still haven't.
Yeah.
So we will continue to assume the worst because that is what we do.
Oh, yeah.
It's because, and he won't say because it's probably something stupid like, oh, well, John LeClaire wouldn't call me Cutter. He called me William. Or,
Yeah.
Keith Jones made me eat wings. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Who knows?
Somebody told me that Danny Briere and Keith Jones taking over was bad because they're former Flyers. So,
Kevin Hayes told me not to play here. Yeah, that kind of a deal. Really? Really? Anyway.
this guy seems like the type who, last episode we mentioned what happened at the national championship game
Yeah.
when they played Denver. I feel like he talks himself into it because he doesn't actually have the inner confidence himself
Yeah.
to rise to the occasion at big moments. And I wonder a little bit if when the World Championships took place last year, the World Juniors,
Mm-hmm.
and he scored all the goals for Team USA, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
We were all in this, oh man, he's scoring all these goals. That's great for our future. But at the same time, I was hearing rumblings of like, well, this guy, he's a perimeter player and he doesn't do the hard work.
Yeah.
And I know it's just, I've only watched him in 2 games, so it's a terrible sample size for the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
But in the 2 games I've watched, this guy is probably one of the most disinterested forwards in getting involved to get possession of the puck
Yeah.
that I think I've ever seen. I wonder if we had dodged a bullet here.
I think we
With this
have.
guy.
I really believe we have, to be perfectly honest. I would agree. I think there is something. The problem that I have obviously with him is the guy talks way too much, doesn't know when to shut the hell up, and just needs to learn how to be a professional. And I don't know if he will ever learn that. Right. Well, at least it's a small sample size. I get it with his early career.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, you had a game. You made it personal. You made it personal, circling it on your calendar, and then you don't show up. Then I'm thinking, like, okay, you learned this lesson. He didn't say anything prior to this game, and he couldn't handle it. He could not handle all of that, like, being rained down upon him. And it's like, you just have to be, you got to learn to just shut the hell up and play a good defensive game. I don't think there's any defense in this game whatsoever, Steve. I don't think there's anything.
No, and I'm not even talking about the defensive. I'm talking in the offensive zone.
Yeah.
When you have to go and get a puck, dig it out of a corner.
Yeah.
Overtake a defenseman. He doesn't seem to have that drive.
And yet, you know who does on this team? Michkov does.
Yeah, well, maybe sometimes a little too exuberant.
I'll take it.
But I mean, one of my favorite moments of the game yesterday was there was a post whistle scrum in the corner.
Yeah, yeah.
Where Lawton was trying to throw some shots at Gauthier. He kind of gets away from it, and Garnet Hathaway reaches out his hand and pulls him back in slowly. Unwillingly.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminded me of a Simpsons episode where it was one of those storytelling ones that they do, and they come out of, I think it was a church or some other building, and the apocalypse is happening, and Lisa starts ascending to heaven, And Homer grabs her by the ankles and says, "Oh, where do you think you're
Where do you
going?"
think you're going?
That's exactly what Hathaway did to Gauthier in the scrum. It was
That's
fantastic.
true. Yeah, exactly. It's a great analogy.
It's just this mouth breathing numbskull. I don't know, man.
I think we did dodge a
TK
bullet.
wanted to fight him. I'm glad he's not a Flyer after what I've seen so far.
Yeah. I think the half-hearted effort. I think there's a half-hearted effort there. To be perfectly honest, with him right now. And where does he go from here? Well, who the hell knows? I don't really care. I'm glad he didn't want to put on the grass. And this is a big moment for the Flyers rebuild. To be perfectly honest, this is something where you have a young kid who said at the draft, "I want to be a Flyer," and then I think it was a couple months later, ghosted everybody, basically said, "I don't want to be a Flyer anymore."
Right.
And for this team, for the Flyers to show up the way they did, the way they responded, and I love how really disciplined they were. They pushed the physicality to a limit, but they didn't go overboard on it. Where I think in the past we have done that a couple of different times, and we have allowed kind of, we get a little bit too ahead of ourselves.
Well,
wanting
we
that
had
revenge.
2 or 3 guys in the box at a time, but what we were taking them with us was
Exactly.
the more important thing.
Exactly. And that was the whole point. That's the whole point. You're not
if
giving
this were-
Anaheim additional power play opportunities, basically.
No, if this were youth hockey, their coach was close to being suspended because they had 11 penalties, and in youth hockey, 12 penalties will get you suspended as a coach.
Can you imagine if that
your
would be the
team
case
did-
in NHL? That would be amazing.
Oh, I know.
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
But the thing I really loved about the game, the crowd was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good opportunity for the team to kind of see what this town is like when they are really into a hockey game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This season has had its up and downs, but like you said, we haven't seen a crowd like this in a long time. I'm thinking
Easily 5
probably,
years. Yeah.
Probably not since the 2012 Penguin series, to be perfectly honest.
For sure. Yeah.
That's probably the last time it was that raucous. And so who's here? Couturier is like the only one who was around for that.
Yeah.
To have
You
witnessed that.
you could make an argument maybe 2019-20 when they were kind of they were getting red hot. They were doing pretty well prior to the COVID shutting everything down. You could make
but the crowds still weren't even like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
this was a raucous crowd. You're right. Yeah.
I hope that the players see this and they think, man, I really want to get this team to relevance where we're competing for a cup, because having that crowd like that is magnificent. And I know Torts kind of said the same thing after the game. He was like, I would love for it to be meaningful and not this bullshit. It was like, yes, I understand that, but at the same time, Torts remembers that
absolutely.
he wants to get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we didn't get there in a way that's positive for the team. This was all about negative for Gauthier, but to see the same type of crowd, I hope is a motivator to the team to be like, hey, if we get rolling, if we can be really good, we're going to see this type of crowd every night.
Hell yeah.
And I hope that they take that going forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's just our little humble thoughts over what happened over the last 7 games or so. We were a little bit waiting until Anaheim, but hell, we had to say something, obviously, with what had transpired. But now with all that over, let's take a look at our wildcard standings. And, we had a little bit of a rough go, obviously, with these last 7 games, and this was to be expected. This was a very difficult stretch.
Tough stretch. I wanted 7. We got 5.
We got 5, and as a result, we're down near the bottom of the standings. 5 points out, though, of that final wild card.
This is ridiculous, frankly.
It really is.
We're halfway through the season, and 5 points separates second from the bottom and the second wild card spot.
And then there's the Sabres way down there. I mean, the Sabres are way down.
Yeah. But you have, and all the teams in between, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 teams between the second wild card and the Flyers are all separated by 3 points.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
The Canadians were down pretty much where we were an episode or 2 ago, and now look where they are.
And they've
rocketed
up.
Run.
Yeah, they have a nice little run. Yeah.
You have a good week, you could be right back in that spot. You have a bad week, you're where you are.
Yeah.
And we had a bad couple of weeks.
Yeah.
and that's where we are. But we're not out of striking distance. It's still within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
You need to get some good goaltending. You need to get back to the defensive structure and make sure you're rolling. But you know, it sucks right now, but we're still it's not a bad spot still.
No. Yeah. And then, of course, looking at the glance here overall, the difference, obviously, 2 games under 500 now, so not at Hockey 500.
Yeah.
9-11-1 on home ice, Wells Fargo. 500 on the road, which I kind of like. You got a minus differential there of minus 19, looks like, between goals scored, goals
that
allowed.
Has grown, yes.
But that being said, the power play improved almost by 1%. The last time we were together, Steve.
Game.
Yeah. Mostly Anaheim, yeah. But there were some other, like San Jose had a power play goal. I think there was a few others in there sprinkling. So we see a positive uptick. We saw a slight 0.1% uptick in the penalty kill. I mean, okay.
Well, look, it hasn't gotten worse.
It hasn't gotten worse.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So that's good. Hopefully they've stunted that and can start turning it around.
Yeah.
But again, that was probably a lot of the Anaheim game because we killed all those penalties.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't remember if Toronto had I think they did have 1 or 2 power play goals.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Obviously, when we look at in the third period, when we look at the schedule, it's going to be interesting because most of the games on the road are all under the Metro Division. So it'll be very interesting to see what we can do to try and hold ourselves up.
Chance to make up some ground.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
We'll see. See what happens.
You know, we've been calling him Quiiter.
We have.
But I saw a sign from the game yesterday that said he is softer than butter with B-U-T-T emphasized. I wonder if we should call him Butter Gauthier.
Oh, that would probably be working out all right. Butter Gauthier.
Butter Gauthier.
Yeah, exactly. Second period, Steve, as we turn the page here, we are halfway through the season. I'm not going to do the whole John Bon Jovi thing since I butchered your ears. And probably our audience's ears. My apologies. Anyway.
Yes, agree. Here, to make up for it, I'll do some ASMR into the microphone.
Thank you.
Ocean.
Are you done? Thank you. And anyway.
All right, on to grading the likes of Eric Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. So we are going to basically go through not necessarily every single player that has played for the Flyers this season, but a select group. But what we've done is we're going to give you our letter grades so far for the halfway point of the season, and maybe just briefly touch on why we gave the the grades and what we're going to be grading on. So
I have done zero preparation for this, so I'm just making it up as I go.
I love it, which is great. All right, 5-on-5. What kind of a grade would you give the 5-on-5 for the year, Steve, if you had to grade it?
For the year, I would give it a C.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Early on, they were probably a D minus.
Okay.
The first 2 weeks of the season.
Okay.
They have picked up the 5-on-5. It's much better, throwing out the clunker of the Dallas game.
Yep.
I think their 5-on-5 play has been trending up, and recently it's probably a B. But I would, for the year, since we're grading 41 or 42 games,
there you go,
wherever we're at now, I give it a C.
You give it a C.
Even out.
I gave them a C+ on that, and I think it's only because I think you're right on the money that they did have a very difficult time generating 5-on-5. But they have been steadily improving in that regard ever since we started the season. So I give them a little bit of a tick up. Is it great? No. I still think there's only one line that's really generating really good chances, and that's the Brink, Forrester, Cates line that seems to be doing very, very well for the entire year. But mixing and matching, I'll give them a little bit of a plus just for that. So C+ there.
Okay.
Power play.
Oh.
Grade.
D.
I went D-. I think it's regressed. I think it needs. There were signs of positive momentum. Obviously, Anaheim will do that for you. I would like to see continual, steady improvement throughout the year. I don't think we're going to hit 20%, but if we could get it up to 18,
let's take 18 at this point.
yeah, that might just be a goal. If we could just hit 18, that would be great. That'd be a lot of work to do, though. I mean, there's still a little too much.
League average. What is league average?
That's a good point. That's a good question.
League average is according to that's penalty kill. According to Hockey Reference, league average is 21.18%.
Well, okay.
Okay, so let's go 18.
18%. Yeah, if we could get to there, then maybe it'll be a C at the end of the year for me. I went D- on that. Penalty kill.
I'm going C-.
Oh, okay. Because of the regression, do you think?
Yeah, it was real good to start the year, and just it felt like at the Florida game they kind of fell off a cliff.
Oh, yeah.
And
4 out of 5 will do that to you.
Yeah. But even after that, though, they were still kind of giving up over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't count the Anaheim game because their power play is also terrible. So I'm grading on a curve. So, yeah, C-.
Okay. I went with a C. I thought I'm giving them more credit in the beginning part of the year because they did have a top 5 penalty kill. Got to recommend them for that, obviously, for that work. But the Florida game was a definite, like, whoa, okay, major step back. So that was like, okay. That's
also, their
not so
offense
good.
on penalty kill has really dried up.
Yeah.
They were really good at it last year. They had, I don't remember how many goals they had shorthanded last year, but this year they've only got 2.
Yeah.
Through half a year.
Which is, very rare.
Well behind.
Yeah, well behind. Okay. So now we're going to go through a listing of players here. We have maybe about, I'm guessing ballparking of about 20. We're going to go through this rapid fire. Steve, we're going to start off with Emil Andre, 20 games, 1 goal, 4 assists, +3 though. What do you think so far out of Emil Andre? I know he was sent down.
Incomplete.
Okay.
Not enough games.
Not enough games. Okay. I gave him a C- because of the fact that he did very well in those 20 games, and with a plus rating, I thought like that's pretty good. I think being sent down, I could see where you're coming out of the incomplete though. I would if I had to redo it again, I probably would agree with you. But I think I'm giving him more of a positive, just for the fact that he did very well.
Well, that's because you gave him a stud one
I
episode,
did.
So you have to back that up somehow.
I guess so.
He didn't play enough games for me to really know what he is or where he fits.
Okay.
Yet.
Yeah, makes sense. I could agree with that. How about we talk one Sean Couturier? 20 points on the year, -2.
Why can't I find? Oh, there he is.
20 points on the year, -2. Captain.
I give him a C+.
Oh, okay. Any particular reason why the C+?
I think he's looked really good in some games. I think he's kind of been invisible in other games. What's his face-off percent? Oh, his face-off percentage is 56.5%. So he's killing it in the face-off circle.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more offense out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he, at least until the Cates line has really started picking it up, Couturier was drawing most of the tough defensive assignments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's held his own. But I think he's got another level he can get to.
Okay.
And I just think I think he can still get there.
Okay. I went with a B for him.
Okay.
It's along the same lines as you. Had the hat trick, but that was way back in October. Since then, 4 goals, but steady. Not overly flashy. You're right. There are times where he does show up. Other times he's kind of like he's doing Sean Couturier things. So in that regard, so I would say B in that. Travis Sanheim.
I would give Sanheim a B+.
Oh, okay. I gave him an A+. I gave him an A+ only because the way that he has continued to improve each and every night, he's noticeable. He's skating better. He's much fast. I think he's continuing to grow, and has gotten a lot better. 22 points on the year, +3, which I think leads all defensemen. I think. Could be wrong on that.
Probably.
Yeah.
He leads most of the players on the team.
Yeah,
actually.
pretty much. Yeah. So, I mean, for that reason alone,
Except for Garnet Hathaway.
Except for Hathaway, yeah. Or Noah Cates also has a +7, if I'm not mistaken. But in any event, I gave Sanheim an A+. Yeah, I think he's probably the best defenseman on the team for that reason. And he's a Four Nations guy, so I mean he's continuing to grow and be much better compared to where he was rookie, second year in, or whatever the case was, where people were like, "Oh, he sucks. We should trade him." No, he's like one of your top defensemen now.
He's one of the top defensemen. He had that stretch where I would have agreed with you on an A in that grade range, but he's it's kind of fallen back a little bit. I still think he's doing a great job defensively, but I'm not seeing the plays that he was making a few weeks ago where he's like driving the net and making power moves and stuff, where I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But he's still doing a solid job. So that's why I gave him the B+.
Nice. Travis Konechny. A+ for me. I mean,
you're just too generous.
I have 50 points in 43 games. Only guy with a point per game above 1. Leader, fantastic guy, sticks up for his teammates. 4 assists last night, which was fantastic. He was
primary assist.
He was dishing the puck all over the place. Great player.
Absolutely.
Owen Tippett.
Ooh, Tip, I give a C.
Okay. I gave him a B. I see steady improvement. He had a very rough go in October.
Yes.
Very rough go. I think that's where your C is coming from. Could be wrong.
That factored into
that
it.
Factors into
great on the whole year. He's been better lately, but he had another little dry spell before the goal last night against Anaheim.
Yep.
And a guy that size, that fast, he's the one who should be doing those power moves going to the net, like Sanheim.
I would love to see that more out of him. Yeah,
he is built like a friggin' tank.
Yeah.
I would love to see him just lower a shoulder into the defenseman and bully his way to the front, like Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of like a Wayne train. Give him a Wayne train out there,
No,
like
Wayne was built completely different.
Oh, really?
Wayne Simmons is skinny as hell.
You're kidding me.
Tippett's like built.
Okay, all right.
No, Wayne Simmons had like giraffe legs. He was strong.
Yeah.
So he could do it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is Tippett has the upper body of like he is built.
Yeah, a tank.
Huge.
Yeah.
He should be able to bully defensemen out of the way.
Yeah. Drive to the net. Yeah, with shots on goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michkov. Rookie of the year candidate here. What do you think of Matt?
Give him a B.
I gave him a B. Interesting. I'm A-.
Of course you are.
Yeah, of course, because I'm
too
hyped up, but that's okay.
Exactly. You're the problem here.
Exactly. Right. Why the B? Real quick. Why the B?
Well, he had a great start, but he has. I mean, before
Slipped
he
a little.
scored last night, I don't remember how many games it had been since he had scored a goal or had a point.
Good point.
And there are nights when he's not noticeable at all on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but that's a B for a rookie. That's pretty good.
Nothing too bad. Yeah.
And I'm sure what he's going through right now is just, what's he at? 41 games.
Yeah.
41 games. Like,
yeah,
that's a lot of games for somebody who's never played that many games.
No doubt.
In a season in 4 months.
Yeah.
Right? Plus add on the preseason he had with the rookie game and all that kind of stuff. So it's, it's not a slight at all to say he's been a B. It's just, some nights he's just not there. And
there we go.
It happens, and that's fine.
Can't disagree.
But he's been great offensively on a lot of nights. And so, he gets above a C for having excelled.
There you go.
But there are some nights that bring him down a little bit.
Well, okay. That's where you got it. Cool. Garnet Hathaway. I love this guy. I gave him a B on this.
Where is he? Let's see.
Was he 14 points plus 4?
Yeah. I'll give him a B.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys you love to have on your team, but you would hate to play against.
And God, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he is fantastic. I love that guy.
When he scored the 6th goal last night and did a somersault, I would have, if it was on another team, I'd be like, why did you not cross-check him in the back of the neck?
Land on top of him.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly, right? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he's great. Love him to death. Bobby Brink.
Bobby Brink will get a B from me.
Oh, okay. I gave him a B minus. I was a little bit under, I think, the -9. I think putting him with Forrester and Cates, though, I think that has been a solved line now. And the fact that those guys are playing very, very well, all three of them, they support each other well. That's where I kind of gave Brink, like the fact that he's now with good line mates. I gave him a B minus.
Yeah, I've just been watching him kind of off the puck and what he's doing to retrieve, and I think what he does is good work.
Yeah.
And so even though he had kind of a slow start, I do think his recent stretch with that line has really brought him up.
Yep. Morgan Frost.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I
gave him a C plus.
I'll do the same.
C plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to see more out of him. Obviously, we did call him out as a dud. And he has, I think, for the most part, been showing signs of improvement.
Would prefer him not to skate out in front of his net as he did last night.
A couple of times, yeah.
Through two defenders. Yeah, that's not the greatest thing.
It's not the best thing to do. Yeah.
But he shows flashes, and that's what's so maddening is if he could perform at that level consistently, you'd have a pretty decent player.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't done it. And so the C plus accounts for his recent success, but he is certainly dragged down by his start to the season.
No doubt. Yeah.
That's where it is.
Yeah. Ryan Poehling. What do you think of Ryan Poehling?
I will give him a B minus.
I was the same. Yeah, I gave him a B minus as well. 15 points in 40 games. -1, though. He had a great, when he scored his goal past Gudas, that was a tremendous play. It was a very subtle shift, and he turned on the afterburners, and it was amazing to see that. I mean, that just shows his talent, that he can just turn just on a little subtle hip turn, and he's off to the races.
What he had that play against the St. Louis Blues the first time they played him, where he skated through 5 guys and dished it off to Hathaway for one of Hathaway's goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got some talent. I mean, he's a former first-round pick, so it's not like the talent isn't there. I wish he would do more of that offensively more often.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just, and I still haven't forgiven him for the first game of the season when Ristolainen put a pass right on his tape, and it was like,
that it was right.
Yeah. So B minus for him.
B minus for him. Yeah, that seems fair. Cam York. +2, 10 points on the year, 29 games played. He did miss a chunk of the season, chunk.
I'll give him a B minus.
Okay. I'll give him a B on that. That was a B on that. I think paired with Sanheim, those two, terrific. I think missing him during the stretch where they were kind of running around a little bit on defense had a lot to do with his absence. But at the same time, slow and steady, I would call Cam York. I think he's doing very well, though.
I'd like to see a little bit more of his offense, because he certainly has it.
Yeah, he certainly could bring it. Yeah,
he can bring the offense. I'd like to see a little more of that.
He had 5 shots against Anaheim last night.
That's what I mean. I mean, he could do it.
Yeah.
So do it.
Yeah.
And he had a few clunker games in there too, particularly when he was just coming back from the injury. Torts had to sit him for a game.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's the talent is definitely there. I think he can, and he's played well before. So I just like to see him over the second half of the season.
Kind of continue
his game to where it's been.
Yeah. Let's go goaltender. Sam Ersson. What do you give Sam Ersson? Just for his stats, I'll just run them out here real quick. 10-7-2 with a .286 goals against, .888 save percentage, 2 shutouts on the year.
I give him an incomplete.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's had 3 separate injury stints.
That's true.
And so I can't make heads or tails of. We've certainly seen him play very well. He played well he didn't have to do much last night, but he played well. I didn't think he played bad in the Dallas game. I think all 3 goals that were scored on him were
defensive breakdowns. Yeah.
Defensive breakdowns. So he's certainly played, but he's also had a couple games where it was like, and so I really don't know where he's at. And until he's healthy and can stay healthy for a consistent period of time, it doesn't matter. He could be as good as, Anthony Stolar's.
Sure.
947 save percentage. Or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be that good, but if he can't stay healthy and in net, then there's no point. So
I gave
I get
him
him an incomplete.
I gave him a B-, and not just because of the fact that I didn't take any of the injuries into account, which I'm glad you said, Steve, to be perfectly honest. I think I gave him the B- mostly because winning record, pretty decent save percentage, two shutouts on the year, goals against average is under 3, which you like to see from your main goaltender. But yeah, I think your points are absolutely valid. He's been hurt a couple different times, and it feels like whenever he gets hurt, it's, what the heck are we going to do? Now we got to go to guys that we don't really know all that well fully yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like everything depends on him at the same time, but I get it. I mean, I get where you're coming from with that incomplete. It's a good grade for you, by the way. That I did not think of. But it's good. No, it's good. I was thinking like more, you're thinking probably, it's like you were, maybe I was anticipating you saying C+ or a B- or whatever. But it's good that you said that's good. That's really good.
Until he can be
consistent. I totally got it. Yeah.
He plays spurts and then he's gone for a week or more
at
a time.
And we don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Alexei Kolosov. 4-8-1.
C-.
I gave him a D. 345 goals against average. He has not played well. Lowest save percentage on the team at 870.
I think my C-. He had a couple good games, especially early on.
St. Louis in their building was a really good
game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I gave him a C- mainly because he really shouldn't even be here.
Okay.
He should be with the Phantoms, to be perfectly honest.
That's fair.
That's where he belongs.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I know there's issues why he's not, but that's really where he ought to be.
Yep. Ivan Fedotov to round out the goaltenders.
Give him a C.
I gave him a C-. I would have given him an F after the first month of the season.
Yes.
But he has shown remarkable improvement, has been so much better, sound defensively, knows where he is in the net. He's giving them a chance to win. I mean, the Toronto games this last couple weeks prove that. He has shown that he can hang with the best of them out there, which is great. It's all you need out of a backup goaltender. High marks for that. I gave him a C- for that.
A backup goaltender, just make the saves you need to make.
Yeah.
That's really all it comes down to.
Give it a shot. Absolutely. Yep. Give us a chance to win. How about Jamie's better? Jamie Drysdale. What do you think of him on the year so far? I gave him a C-. He is -15 on the year. By far the worst. And he has been in and out of the lineup with injury as well. He at times looks a little lost defensively, but this was his coming out party. The game against Anaheim with 2 points. So maybe this will get him kick-started. I gave him a C- still in the year.
Yeah,
I will want to see him more. Yeah. You could see that? Yeah.
I could live with the C-.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Torts has said he needs to learn how to play hockey. So just spend this season working on it. That's all.
That's all. Let's just try and get the kinks out now. That's all. My boy, Tyson Forrester. Getting close, Steve, towards the end. Tyson Forrester, what do you think of his season so far?
Give him a B.
Nice. I gave him a B-. I still want him to shoot more. I want this guy to, keep firing that puck, man. You know what I mean? But
he's got 12 goals. I mean, he's on pace for 24. That ain't bad.
Rocking and rolling, man. Let's go. Come on, Tyson. Right? Get to 30. No, but it's I would want him to continue to keep shooting that puck, man. He has a rocket of a shot, and I love seeing it. And it's I want him to hit the net, get those goals. I mean, that I could just see great things out of him. That's for sure. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 6 more. Right. Rasmus Ristolainen.
Risto, I give a B.
I'm the same way. B as well.
He's
been so much better.
Absolutely.
So much better. I think Torch saying of him, if he moves his feet, he's one of the best defensemen out there. And it's shown in his play. He's not coasting. He's not
Yes.
That kind of, and he's a -3 now, Steve. I mean, that's remarkable out of Rasmus Ristolainen. That's tremendous. That's great.
I'm seeing him a little bit too far in front of the other team's net every once in a while, but like, what's Risto doing down there? Holy
Right?
crap.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, but no, I think a B is a fair grade for him. I think he's really done nicely.
Yeah.
And he filled in when on the top pair when York went out, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought
And
he
played very
did-
well.
he-
Yeah,
he
played very well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Scott Lawton.
I give him a B minus.
Yeah, and the same. B minus as well.
Yeah, C plus B minus somewhere in that
Yeah.
range.
4 goals against Detroit. But if you take that away, he only has 5 on the year. So it's kind of, I mean, it's Scott Lawton. He's played every single game. He does his job.
He's a -10.
He's a -10 though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see the offense on the penalty kill has kind of dried up.
Mm-hmm.
I know he floats up and down the lineup, so it's tough to build any chemistry, but you'd like to see something.
And you like to see with that
More.
chemistry there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Joel Farabee. Recent healthy scratch against the Anaheim Ducks. It killed Torts to do it, but he has not played well.
No, I give him a C minus.
I gave him a C. I think my rationale was I still see something good, but got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I think for him. I think he's got to do a lot of work to get much better.
I really don't know. The shaved head didn't do it for me. And I really don't understand what the issue is because he's been a 20 goal scorer in this league. So I don't. It's got to be a confidence thing with him. It just has to be.
I would agree. Yeah, and the fact
confidence
that
is huge. So I hope that he can find it.
Yeah, because he is. You're right. He has definitely scored 20 in this league, and has been a very good forward. It's just this up and down stuff. It's like some nights he shows up, and then other nights, where the heck is he? He doesn't. We don't know where he is.
Yep.
Igor Samula.
Give him a C minus.
Same. I gave him a C minus
of late.
Yes,
he's certainly played much better recently.
Right, I would agree. I think the overall body of work, though, there have been missteps. There have been, defensive breakdowns because he's on the ice running around. He's not fully confident in the puck. It's like when the puck is on him and he doesn't have anybody with him, he's fine. But if he's pressured, that's his. Got to be faster. That's the thing that Torts wants him to be, is a little bit quicker on that puck to get it up and out.
You can see him, like, the calculations are going on when he's got the puck. He's like, 5 plus X to the minus, and then somebody's on him.
Somebody's on him. Yeah. It's got to be much faster for him. Nick Seeler, my boy.
I'll give him a C plus.
I gave him a B, only because I like him blocking shots, even though he's been hurt now. I mean, he was clearly against Anaheim was really struggling with something, which sucks. But at the same time,
well, when you play a game like he does, that's gonna happen just over the course of the season.
Yeah,
it's natural.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna get cross-checked in the ribs, and then when they see you holding your ribs, they're gonna cross-check you again in the ribs, and that's how it goes.
Exactly. Which sucks.
Yes. What did I give him? C plus.
You gave him a C plus. Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing his job. Sometimes he just, you wish you could get a little more out of him, especially paired with Drysdale.
Yeah.
You'd like to see some more chemistry there.
Yeah. And hoping that does turn around the second half of the year. And then finally, Noah Cates to round out our report card.
I give him an A.
Really? That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I gave him a B. I think he's paired with Forrester. He's paired with Brink. That has definitely worked. +7. That's phenomenal. He's +7. It's the best plus minus on the team.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
the play for me was the other night in Toronto when he goes into the corner and just muscles the puck away from the defenseman to feed Konechny all alone in front of the net. I mean, that's the type of play you're looking for. That's what Quiiter Gauthier is never going to give you.
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic play.
Yeah,
and you could see why. I mean, he's not. When this team was actually good, he's probably a third or fourth center. but you see flashes of what he can do in that role.
No doubt.
And it gives you some hope that if we can fill out the top of the roster, he can be a very solid piece at the bottom 6 of your forwards.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm extremely offended that we did not have to grade Helge Grans.
Well, I was a little disappointed we didn't do Eric Johnson either. I mean, guy does over 1,000 NHL games, and he had a goal in this. I think it was in his 1,000th game, if I'm not mistaken, this season. I think that's
could
right.
be.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
But he hasn't played since November, and heck, even Nick Delorier didn't even make our but he's been out since I think it's November, right? With the upper body. So
he certainly, he hadn't played a game, but then he got hurt, I guess, in practice, and hasn't been seen or heard from since.
Yeah,
which is
witness protection, I guess. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah.
Sad because he's a good guy, but
oh yeah, great. He would have loved last night. No question about that. He would have absolutely loved it. Probably going like with Scooters, he would have had a 10-bell fight right there.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Well, Steve, third period. Why don't we look ahead next 2 weeks in the Flyers' schedule, and we'll of course review these in episode number 9 in 2 weeks as we look ahead here.
Bear in mind, people, once again, we're filming there on Sunday the 12th, as you see.
Yes,
on the schedule.
So we don't want to
2
hear,
games.
oh, these guys haven't reviewed Florida or Columbus or the Islanders. No, that's because we're recording tonight on the 12th, right there. You could just see it right there in the corner.
So, yes, you know what happened, but we don't. So
that's right. That's right. We can only preview it. We can't hop in a DeLorean and figure out what happened and then hop back and then figure out what's going on from there. That's why we're going to tell you right now what we think is going to happen. Anyway, Florida at home. Wah. Florida at home. Last time we faced the Florida Panthers. Thank God. Because I'm a little sick of them, to be perfectly honest. And even though we play them tough, I don't know what to make of this coming off Anaheim, Steve. Your thoughts on the Florida Panthers for the final time?
Well, the good news
is
season. They seem to be fighting it a little bit.
Yeah,
recently.
they are.
Where did that go? I think they had. Yeah, they're kind of like win one, lose one, win one, lose one recently.
Yeah. 5-4-1 the last. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The key with them is stay out of the box.
Yeah.
I mean, they are running at 25% on the power play.
Yeah, lesson learned, right?
So you don't want. Yeah, exactly. 4 power play goals last time. So I'm sure Torts's video session will be, hey, don't take a penalty.
Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Whatever you do.
Right. The issue really was that game. It was the undisciplined type of penalties.
Yeah.
Sam Bennett is going to do his best to draw you into doing something stupid. So maybe don't look at Sam Bennett.
Yeah. Yeah, please. For the love of God, don't do it. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and also don't go on the power play either, because Sam Reinhart has 4 shorthanded goals. So just stay 5-on-5 all game.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're going to give you a power play, take a penalty to even it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right?
Keep it even.
Keep it even as best you can. Exactly. The next night, you're in Columbus for the third of 4 regular season games against Columbus. Your final visit to Columbus this season. Of course, we were there a month ago, beat them in their building 5-3. They've been playing pretty well, though, the last few times. They're obviously second place in wildcard. They've won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
7-2-1 their last 10. Nothing to sneeze at. Power play is, according to NHL.com here, they are 9th in the league at
they got a good power play.
24%. So
they are 3rd in the league in goals for.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely impressive.
Very.
Because I did not have them pegged for that kind of offensive firepower. They are, however, 30th in goals against.
Yeah.
So they score
7-5.
a lot.
10-8, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go for it. Why not?
We're 1980s hockey. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's run it back.
Zach Werenski still leads them in points with 48.
Man alive.
Give that guy the Norris Trophy.
Yeah, exactly. Good grief.
13 goals.
And
3-game winners. That's impressive.
That's impressive for a defenseman. Very impressive. Then, for the first time this season, we face off against the New York Islanders. In fact, if you look ahead in the schedule, we play them 3 times in the month of January, which is crazy. Of course, the first of 2 road games on the 16th there. And they have also done pretty well. They're kind of bouncing back a little bit. At the time of this recording, 5-5 in their last 10, but they've won 3 in a row. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of keeping pace.
That includes a win over Vegas.
Yeah.
Which that's not an easy thing to do.
Nothing to sneeze at.
We know.
Well, yeah, exactly. Nothing to sneeze at there. It'll be interesting there. Then the next night after that.
Well, I don't get to talk about the Islanders. What the hell?
Well, they are the Islanders.
Huh?
They are the Islanders.
I know they're the Islanders, but they're 28th in goals for in the league. So they don't score a lot. Also, I hate Anders Lee.
Yeah.
So someone needs to punch him in the face repeatedly.
And what is with these New York teams that have the blue and the orange? They do not match. Will you please stop it with this? Go back to your Gordon's Fisherman logo from 20 years ago. That'd be great if you could do that.
Ew, why do you? Yeah,
and stink up. Well, I want them to stink up the joint. That's all. That's all I want them to do. Come on now.
Fish sticks.
Yeah, fish sticks. Do it. Then you've got the New Jersey Devils, and like the Islanders, you play them 3 times in the month of January. Of course, you've got the
I forgot something with the Islanders.
Oh, what?
Patrick Waugh is their coach.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And
expect him to lose it, by the way, during one of these games.
He pulled their goalie on a defensive zone faceoff against Toronto.
Obviously suffering from a concussion, but that's okay.
I mean, he had some logic behind it, which sort of made sense, but I still would not do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, you may continue with the Devils.
Well, yeah, exactly. Okay, so then we like the Islanders, like I mentioned before, you've faced the Devils 3 times this month. The first meeting, of course, is on the 18th. Devils, Steve, what are your thoughts with them? They have a pretty darn good power play, 3rd in the league, operating at 28.3%.
Yeah, they're good. They're top 10.
Pretty good, yeah.
They're top 10 scoring and goals against. Their goalie, Markstrom, that was a big problem for them last year. He seems to have fixed that issue.
Yeah.
And they are, 2nd behind Washington at this point?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're running pretty well.
Yeah.
Sheldon Keefe is their coach, so come playoff time, they'll probably fold like a tent in the first round. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this game.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough one. That is no question going to be an absolute rough game.
Yeah.
For sure. Always is with the Devils. Then, after a couple of days off, you've got Detroit on the 21st. I believe it will be the final time we play the Detroit Red Wings.
Should be, because that'd be the 3rd. So
that's the further game. Yep.
That makes sense.
So they have been actually red hot. Won 7 straight. In fact, I think they also beat Seattle today at the time of this recording.
That would
make it 8.
That's the 7.
Yeah.
No.
Make it 7. That's
6.
Right. Yeah.
It was 6 before today. If
Yeah.
what you say is true.
Yes.
I know it not, because Hockey Reference does not say so.
You could trust
Todd McClellan, they fired their coach.
Yeah.
Before the new year, I believe.
Yes.
And they are 6-1 under Todd McClellan, 7-1 now.
Yeah.
So that's probably new coach,
new system, and
Juju.
They're loving it.
So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We'll see how long it lasts. When do we play them? So it's
21st,
a little over a week.
Yeah, week and a half.
So
close.
Hopefully they'll cool off a little bit before then.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. Off day, then the 23rd, you got the Rangers in Madison Square Garden. I believe this will be the 2nd meeting between the 2 teams. We beat them 3-1. A great game in November. After this 23rd, we don't face them again until April 9th. Very rare for that to happen in a schedule with the Rangers and Flyers, but we only face them 3 times this entire year. This is the 2nd meeting. Thoughts there?
That would be good.
Yeah.
They've won 2 in a row, including again. Oh no, I guess they didn't beat Vegas.
No.
They
are this is a weird year for the Rangers to be off.
Their goals for is 21st in the league.
Wow.
Which is
That's shocking. Yeah. especially with Zibanejad and all these guys.
Zibanejad is minus 21.
Oh my gosh!
No.
Wow,
which would be
that's crazy.
By far the worst on our team.
Oh,
by
yeah.
a good margin.
Yeah,
and we've got some bad minuses on our team, but yeah, he's having a rough go this year.
Minus 21. Good grief! What the hell? I'll take it, but I mean, good grief, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Then the closeouts, our slate of games here. We got again the Islanders' second game in their building. Luckily for us, that's the last time we visit that stupid. Was it where do they play? The old UBS. Now it's the UBS Arena. I guess the Nassau Coliseum.
It's not the old.
I was going to say it's the old rat-infested Nassau Coliseum, right? It's not. They're not playing.
No, they did away with that. They were for a while, weren't they playing in the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah.
Arena where they had the car in the one corner. That was so stupid.
Like, what on earth are they doing? Oh goodness! But yeah, so that's our slate of games, Steve. What do you think? I mean, you have a lot of games within the Metro. 5 of the 7 games here on the schedule within the Metro, but you're all on the road in the division, which is very interesting. Not long, not major mile trips either. All within bus rides or train rides of each other. Lone one is Columbus, where you got to, I guess you're taking a charter jet for like an hour.
I think the rest of the season their travel is pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. But what do you think in regards to this? Do you see winnable games, or is this going to be another tough slate of games? Again, you're coming off Anaheim, which was a 6-0 beatdown. First time they've really taken it to an opponent in a long, long time.
That's true.
I was like, they had a margin of victory. Last time they blew somebody out. Largest margin of victory this Anaheim game since October of 2017 with Washington. That was 8-2.
Wow.
And the largest shutout margin since March of 2016 against Columbus when they shut them out 6-0.
Well, the problem is there's extenuating circumstances for the Anaheim game.
Correct. Yeah. That's the big unknown, right? That is the big unknown.
I mean, they got the Florida Panthers on Dollar Dog Night, so maybe we could throw some hot dogs at them, distract them.
Who knows?
Certainly, Columbus should be winnable because you've beaten them twice already. You should be able to do it again. The 2 Islander games, you should be competitive with them.
Mm-hmm. Devils is going to be tough.
The Devils is going to be tough. The Florida Panthers game is going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
The Ranger game, just the way they've been going, you should have a chance there. And Detroit, again, they're hot under their new coach. Hopefully, after another week, the temperature will come down a little bit. You'll have a chance.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8. You got to get.
So you got 7 games, 14 points.
You got to get a minimum of 8 points out of this. Minimum.
Yeah, if you're going to rocket up the standings, I would say so. Yeah. We haven't had a win streak yet. We haven't gotten to that point where, we've won consecutive games. It's been a while. It's been a long time. And it has been a tough go. I think there are winnable games in here. It's just how well is this team going to respond after that Anaheim game? Because now Cutter's gone. You don't see him anymore. Question now is, this is a chance with only 5 points back in that wild card standings. Is this team going to take that next step up as we are heading into the second half of the year?
And Columbus sits in that spot, and you have a 4-point game there.
Yeah,
so
that's massive. I mean, you could close within 3 of them if you beat them in their building. So that, I mean, you got a shot, you got a chance. It's going to be a matter. It's really going to be all comes down to desire and heart at this point. They got a big, big mental lift off this Anaheim game. It's what they do with it afterwards and what this young team is going to do. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
After that.
Florida's not the opponent I was looking for after that Anaheim game.
No. But luckily, it's the last time we see him. Thank God. I mean, goodness.
Yeah. 8 points, I think, is the bare minimum you need to get out of this stretch if you want to have a chance.
Yeah.
To compete. Because I remember looking at the schedule. The very back end of the schedule has some very winnable games against some low end teams. And before that, though, it's going to be kind of a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Particularly, I think, right after the 4 Nations tournament.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you got to get points now. And I think this is a nice stretch where you've got some teams that you're on the level with or slightly ahead of that you should be able to get some points out of it.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, this concludes episode 8 of the Men in Orange and Black. Steve, it's always great to be able to talk Flyers with you, and the fact that we were able to do it after not only a huge Anaheim win, but a huge Green Bay victory over over them over the playoffs and the Eagles. So
let's say that again: a huge Eagles victory,
over the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. That's what I was going to say.
A huge Green Bay victory, and we're not.
Yeah, that didn't quite work out. Yeah,
no.
Yeah, no.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Yeah, it is 9:15. I am like very old, so I'm trying to trying to stay awake. I guess I don't know.
It's geriatric bedtime.
Exactly. So with that being said, thank God, for Steve, I'm Matt. Let's go Flyers.